So the runners all being gathered together at the entrance to the home straight. They'll make their way across the chase course and then out onto the hurdles course. So they're making the turn out onto the track, initially just away from the starter. Flag not yet raised, but they're about to take a turn. Perfect time, Lydia. It does indeed raise the flag. The new one. Only 2 flights of hurdles, of course, in the closing stages on the new course. I wonder if that might help him more than the World Course Champion hurdle. They're often racing for the StanJames.com International Hurdle. And a new one pops out in the lead here for Richard Johnson, ensuring that they're going to go a reasonable gallop in the conditions. Melodic Rendezvous in the two-tone blue, and Old Guard in the blue and red with the noseband as they step over the first. Court Minstrel, My Tent or Yours in the hoop colours of green and yellow. And at the rear of the field, Mr. Miyagi, who was taken to post away from the parade, can be a little bit keen, and just settled at the rear of the field. The new one's enthusiastic on the front end and heads towards the second with a lead of 4 lengths from Melodic Rendezvous. Third place for Old Guard, My Tent or Yours, Court Minstrel, and at the rear of the field, Mr. Miyagi. So the new one heading towards flight number 2, setting into a reasonable rhythm here now. Pops over it well, measured it perfectly okay. Old Guard, Melodic Rendezvous, My Tent or Yours jumped up to briefly join those two, but is going to be restrained back behind them as they take the turn away from the stands. Court Minstrel in 5th in the green jacket, and Mr. Miyagi is at the rear of the field. The 6 runners for the StanJames.com International Hurdle make their way uphill and turn away from the grandstands. The new one out in front, only a length or so clear now from Melodic Rendezvous and Old Guard, who've been side by side in second just about throughout. My Tent or Yours in 4th place, Court Minstrel and Mr. Miyagi. 3 flights of hurdles on this part of the racecourse. The new one has jumped fluently so far this afternoon. Is over in front from Old Guard, Melodic Rendezvous and My Tent or Yours. Court Minstrel and Mr. Miyagi as the pursuing trio edge a little closer to the new one. His rider looks over the left shoulder, but now the closest pursuer is My Tent or Yours to his right. Middle one of the 3. And the new one over in front from My Tent or Yours. Melodic Rendezvous and Old Guard remain side by side, but they're now 3rd and 4th. Court Minstrel and Mr. Miyagi charting the wider course for Harry Skelton. Richard Johnson rides the new one into that. Responds with a good leap as well from My Tent or Yours in 2nd place. Melodic Rendezvous on the inside of Old Guard, Court Minstrel and Mr. Miyagi. So they begin the turn uphill. We're reaching halfway, although the bulk of the jumping is done, with 5 already of the 8 flights behind them, and the 6th not that far away. The new one out in front from My Tent or Yours. Old Guard, Melodic Rendezvous, Court Minstrel and Mr. Miyagi. They've all handled that flight perfectly okay. So now they'll continue the climb and then swing left-handed downhill. And the race still really yet to develop. The new one went on with purpose and has continued to lead, but hasn't by any means shaken off any of the pursuers as yet. My Tent or Yours in 2nd in the hoop colours, looking for this Barry Geraghty treble. Old Guard racing on the outside of Melodic Rendezvous. As they turn downhill, Mr. Miyagi is still towards the outside of Court Minstrel, but the whole field will be covered by only 3 lengths or so. Melodic Rendezvous just being ridden along on the inside as the other 5, almost in perfect diagonal formation, run downhill towards the 2nd last. The new one, My Tent or Yours and Old Guard. Then Mr. Miyagi, the new one, has jumped well this afternoon, continuing to do so, and only has 1 more flight to take. My Tent or Yours in 2nd, Old Guard in 3rd. Mr. Miyagi shaken up. Court Minstrel at this stage can't go with them, and the new one is trying to run the finish out of the rivals here. 2 lengths is the gap to old adversary My Tent or Yours, Old Guard last year's winner, and then Mr. Miyagi, who can't appear to pick up on the ground at the moment. So it is the new one out in front, My Tent or Yours, looming away to the right-hand side. Old Guard is back in 3rd. It's the new one down towards the last with his old adversary My Tent or Yours at the moment. Can't get to him. The new one down towards the last is going to be just over a length in it. My Tent or Yours in 2nd place, but it is the new one who sets off up the hill with a 2-length lead. My Tent or Yours is being strongly driven, but at the moment the new one is not stopping and is extending the advantage. In 2nd place, My Tent or Yours. The new one just lost a bit of concentration, but is driven out 3 in
international hurdles. He joins Bird's Nest and Ralph in achieving that feat. For Richard Johnson and Nigel Twiston-Davies, My Tentor Yours was second, Old Guard third, Melodic Rendezvous in fourth place.